We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April, 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April, 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April, 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson 019. Members of the jury, I'm now going to ask you individually if these are your true and correct verdicts. Please respond yes or no. Juror number 2, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 9, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 19, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 27, are these your true and correct verdicts?
The verdict there, Derek Chauvin has been convicted on all charges. And we have with us today Pastor Guns he's the pastor of Second Calvary Baptist Church in Norfolk, Virginia. Pastor Guns, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
Sure. We wanted to get your opinion. We know that you have been a pastor of this significant church in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area for some time, and we wanted to get your opinion about what you think this means for the Hampton Roads community, the state of Virginia, and just the country as a whole.
Well, first, let me just say that I am, like many people, relieved that this verdict came back guilty on all counts, simply because of the fact that Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd in public. And it was very clear that had happened. And we know from past experience and previous experiences that even video was often not enough to convict a policeman of killing an innocent Black person. And so I think that this is a great day for justice and for the country and for America and Black people. It gives us a sense that that we can find justice and that the law can work for us. And we have to stay vigilant and continue to press forward with this.
Yes, this is a great day for Black people all over the country. I wonder what kind of policy changes is this going to mean, what we're going to see from police departments all over. And do you think it would really make a difference in what's been going on with these police killings of unarmed individuals?
Only time will tell. Time will tell. We know that sometimes that when things like this happen, there can be a backlash, and that those who are in Republican-controlled legislatures can enact and pass laws that may try to prevent something like this from happening and provide even more protection for policemen, even if they commit a crime. And so time will tell. We'll see. But I do believe this. I think that it is going to be critical for Black folks in America to really understand that elections matter and that who sits in the seat of the prosecution or the local or the city prosecutors or the state prosecutors, that these are the persons who determine whether or not individuals will face justice. And we've seen that in Kentucky, where there was a prosecutor who was favorable to the police, who pretty much allowed the policeman to go uncharged in the murder of Breonna Taylor. We've seen that in the case of Eric Garner and across the country, where individuals were charged, and the prosecutors would not press the kinds of charges or the case, argue the case in such a way that people would be found guilty. So my hats are off to the prosecution in Minneapolis.
Yes, and you talked about some of the lawmakers who have been changing laws that allow this kind of thing to go on, but also, what do you think about the media and the media's role? Because these things have been happening, but it wasn't until the public started putting this information out in video that it's been covered by the media to this extent.
I think that the media bears a huge has a huge responsibility in terms of making sure that it reports these kinds of things accurately and fairly, and that the media understands, really understanding the pain that Black people have in this country, and reporting that, and not necessarily covering up for the crimes of policemen and individuals who would make it difficult for Blacks to find justice in this country.
And we've noticed an uptake, it seems like. Now, like I said, a lot of this doesn't get reported widely in the media. So we don't know to what extent it was going on before. And a lot of police departments aren't really keeping statistics. But we noticed an uptick in this since the past administration, and even the Capitol riots and what happened and the way all of this has been reported in the media. So what do you think is the number one thing that the media can do to be better police of themselves?
I think that the number one thing that the media can do is to hire more Black reporters. I think that that's that's got to be at the center. Ensure that there are more Black editors in these editorial rooms when these stories are being fleshed out, and and editors are thinking about what's going to be the line and how these stories are going to be reported and how long they're going to be reported. I think that you have to have people writing these stories who look like us, who feel our pain, and editors who look like us, who are not afraid to really kind of tell the truth, and who will not let these stories die. Because sometimes there can be a real headline, big story, it lasts for a day. And then after that, it kind of fades from the news stream. And that may be because, people have a short attention span, but the more the media reports it, and the more the media opens it up, and the more you have people who are writing this on our behalf, I think the more likely we are to get fairness and equity in these stories.
Now, you were mentioning hiring more reporters and also in editor positions. MSNBC actually recently, I guess in January, it took effect that Rashida Jones, who's actually a graduate of Hampton University, is now the president of MSNBC.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And also, just in the last couple of days, it was announced that ABC News will have an African-American female president who she was a graduate of Florida A&M and a former vice president at CBS News. So we are making strides.
That's a good thing. And the other thing is, I think that it's important that Black folks understand the power of the Black press. Because often we don't support our own press, and own media outlets. But we have to be able. Who can tell our story better than us? No one. And so we need to be able to listen, to read, to hear from us, and to hear our side of the story as we tell it. And so I think that we have to support the Black press too.
Yeah,
I believe in that.
I definitely appreciate that as the founder of two Black publications, the Hampton Roads Messenger and the HBCU Advocate. And one of the reasons that working as an engineer, one of the reasons that I wanted to start this African American publication in the city of Norfolk was because I saw a great need. Not that there isn't other great media outlets there, but can you ever have too much coverage of things happening in the African American community? I don't think so.
I think that people start media outlets all the time, and the digital media market is wide open, and there are new entries into that space all the time. And I think that we just have to be able to tell our story, to promote our story, and to advocate for us. And I like the fact that the HBCU Advocate, advocating for historically Black colleges and universities, I think it's just a critical thing. Trying to get our kids to go to attend HBCUs.
Yeah, I think it's really important because HBCUs are kind of like the final frontier for African Americans,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of wealth and the economic impact of HBCUs in our community is just phenomenal. So we have to continue to support them so that, we know of St. Paul's University closing not too many years ago in Virginia. And HBCUs have gotten newfound support recently, but there are still smaller HBCUs that aren't getting that attention, aren't getting that funding, aren't getting that support. So we just really have to look to where, those institutions are and try to support those that aren't being supported right now.
I agree. I agree that we need to do that. Now, let me just get back to the whole issue of justice for just a moment. And this it's going to be interesting to see what the outcome will be from the very conservative media outlets regarding the Derek Chauvin verdict. So that's going to be a really interesting thing to watch. The spin that they put on this, that police are under attack, that the defund the police movement has made it difficult for a policeman to do his job, and the way that they will spin this verdict. But it is clear that justice has been carried out, that this man received, he was convicted of crimes that he committed. He committed murder publicly, and killed George Floyd with malicious intent. And so to understand that, and to understand that just as there are those of us who feel that justice has been carried out, there are also going to be those who believe that this has been a grave miscarriage of justice. And I think that the media has to be stern and strong, not celebrate this, but acknowledge that this is the first step towards acknowledging that that everyone deserves justice in this country, no matter who they are.
Right. And I was actually talking about economic impact because that is sometimes the low-hanging fruit that police see that they can bully sometimes, maybe, or will not get the pushback from, or may not be represented by an attorney. So economics is important for everyone in the community. So I believe we have to do all we can to support that. But yes, that was somewhat of a like old school public hanging, almost what happened with George Floyd and Derek Chauvin. And the other sad thing is that it happened with so many other police officers standing by.
And watching.
Right.
Uh, totally unmoved by the pleas, the cries, and just simply stood by and watched. I mean, they are complicit in everything that happened, and they should be tried and convicted as well.
Yes, and I want to thank you so much for joining us and giving us your opinion. It is very valued in the community. And
Thank you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you so very much.
Years of joy, so emotional that no family in history ever got this far. We was able to get a guilty charge on all accounts. We got a chance to go to trial, and they took it all away. So this right here is for everyone that been in this situation. Everybody. We are here. We stand in a unit. Thank you for Sharpton for being right here with us from the very first day until the last. I know we're not done yet. I love it. God bless you.